Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cameron Morrison. I'm a financial analyst at HP. Thank you for taking the time to discuss how we can make our finance organization faster and more responsive without ever compromising the control and rigor our stakeholders expect. Today, I'm presenting a practical, leadership-driven plan to activate agile principles in our distributed enterprise environment. We'll look at where we are today, the future we can reach, and the clear four-phase path to get there. This is not about adopting new tools, it's about how we lead differently so our teams can deliver timely insights while maintaining full accountability. Let's begin with the reality we're facing today. Why does this matter? In our volatile market, delayed financial insights cost us real opportunities. Today, routine decisions take 30 plus days due to layers of approval. That's the problem, creating tension between innovation and bureaucracy in our unbalanced company. If nothing changes, we lose margins, team engagement drops, and customers suffer due to slower service. Our agile vision treat agile as a learning system, not a delivery machine to empower teams for faster, safer decisions. Leadership action is required now to redesign behaviors and systems. Without it, we stay stuck. What's changing? Many operational and financial decisions required upward escalation. Distributed and hybrid teams rely on formal documentation and dashboards. Analyst feedback is reactive, servicing after outcomes, and processes emphasize precision and risk avoidance over adaptability. Here is the reality we live with every day. Decisions require multiple approvals, delaying response. A simple forecast variance that an analyst spots on Monday often waits until Thursday for 3 levels of approval. Remote teams chase signature instead of acting on real-time data. This model worked in stable times, but today it creates friction. It delays business decisions and it leaves our talented analysts feeling powerless. Why this matters is because our current decision cycles slow response times by days or even weeks, which is simply too slow in today's volatile markets. Leaders become overloaded with routine approvals, pulling their focus away from strategic work where they add most value. As a result, we miss critical opportunities to influence business outcomes in real time. Over time, this environment lowers team engagement and discourages innovation within our finance processes. Ultimately, these delays and inefficiencies reduce our competitiveness and limit our abilities to support the business when speed and insight matter the most. This approach clearly defines who is involved and how accountability works. Teams are given clear authority to act within established financial, policy, and risk boundaries, allowing decisions to happen closer to the work. Leaders shift their role from approvers to enablers, removing friction and staying focused on strategic priorities. Feedback becomes continuous and embedded into our daily operating rhythms, not delayed through formal reviews. And success is measured by the quality of decisions, their business impact, and the organization's ability to adapt quickly. This is how Agile applies in a finance organization. At its core, the Agile Manifesto emphasizes individuals and interactions over a rigid process, and responding to change over strictly following a plan. But Agile does not mean chaos or speed at all costs. Research on the Agile Golden Mean shows that too little change leads to stagnation, while too much creates chaos. This goal is balance. In finance, that balance means maintaining every control that protects our stakeholders, while intentionally removing unnecessary friction that slows down decision making. Agile, when done right, is a leadership responsibility. Leaders create the conditions where teams can adapt quickly, make high-quality decisions, and still operate with full financial rigor and accountability. Agile leadership rests on 4 connected factors. First is clear direction and purpose. Teams must understand what matters and why. Second is authenticity, where leaders build trust by being transparent and consistent. Third is devolved decision-making, placing authority at the right level so work moves faster without losing control. And fourth is collaborative achievement, where teams work across functions instead of in solos. When these 4 elements are strong, agility emerges naturally at the center. This is not a process change, it's a leadership shift, and it's the shift we must make to move faster, smarter, and with confidence. Phase 1 is foundational. Decision authority is intentionally divided between centralized and delegated responsibilities. Centralized decisions continue to include regulatory filings, capital expenditures over $100,000, and major policy changes where compliance and risk are critical. At the same time, decision-making is pushed over to the work. Analysts are empowered to own expense variances under $10,000, make forecast adjustments within plus or minus 5%, and complete routine reconciliations without escalation. These boundaries are clearly documented and consistently communicated, giving teams confidence to act while ensuring leadership retains control where it matters most. Feedback has to be built into our daily rhythm, not added as an afterthought. Phase 2 introduces short, structured feedback loops that are directly tied to business value. Each week, teams ask a simple but powerful question. Did our insights help the business move faster? These are outcome-focused reflections, not status updates. Stakeholders provide real-time input on the usefulness of forecasts, and quick post-decision learning reviews capture insights while they're still fresh. This approach creates continuous learning and improvement without adding extra meetings or slowing teams down. Recommendation 3 is about enabling local ownership. Routine decision authority shifts to teams, while leaders evolve from approvers into coaches and enablers. Instead of asking, do I need to approve this? Leaders ask, how can I remove barriers so you can decide? Teams receive training on risk boundaries and decision frameworks so they can act confidently and responsibly. Accountability also shifts from completing tasks to delivering outcomes. This behavioral change builds ownership and pride within teams, and it's the moment finance stops being a bottleneck and becomes a true business partner. Recommendation 4 aligns our metrics with real outcomes. What we measure shapes behavior, so we move away from tracking the number of reports produced and instead focus on decisions enabled and value delivered. We track decision cycle time, adaptability, such as changes action within 24 hours, and stakeholder trust. These metrics are reviewed regularly to support learning. By realigning KPIs this way, we reward speed and quality of insight while maintaining strong compliance and control. Here's how leaders will know this is working. We expect to see a 50% or greater reduction in routine decision time, along with higher analyst engagement and more innovation across finance teams. Governance actually becomes stronger, not weaker, because decisions are made within clear, trusted boundaries. Most importantly, finance teams shift from being seen as a gatekeeper to a strategic enabler of the business. Within 6 to 12 months, we will feel the difference: faster insights, more motivated teams, and control that remains unchanged or even improves. This approach is realistic, phased, and grounded in the principles we studied all semester. To close, agile leadership in enterprise finance is not about moving faster indiscriminately. It is about shortening the gap between insight and action while keeping every safeguard our stakeholders need. The choice is ours: stay with layers and delays, or build a finance organization that leads with speed and trust. I recommend we launch a small pilot next quarter. I'm ready to support this every step of the way. Thank you for your time, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions for you.